Hello everyone, I am Presilla R, Assistant Professor, Department of ISC. Today we are going to discuss a topic called as process states. So before starting off process states, we should know what is process. So process is nothing but program under execution. So when we write any program, that program will be stored in secondary memory. So when a program has to be executed, the program should be brought from secondary memory to the main memory. So OS will do that work. So once a program is brought from secondary memory to the main memory, that is called as process. So now at that time process is it is called as process because at that time program will be under execution. Okay, so we have so many states under process, starting from new till terminated. There are 5 states of process. So it has to go through all these stages while it is being executed. So the first state is called as a new. So when a program is brought from secondary memory to the main memory, the process is created. So that is called as a new state. That means the process is available now and the process table has been created at this stage. So new is a state where process will be created. The process is available in a main memory. Now the second state is called as ready state. So now when a process have all the resources, the process must be allocated to one CPU, right? So CPU is the one which runs the program or the process. So ready state is where the process is waiting to get a CPU allocated to that. Okay. So the next state is called as running state. So once the process starts executing, so CPU is executing our process, so that state is called as running state. Let's say that the process is running and there is an interruption from any other process. So we study many scheduling algorithms like priority based scheduling algorithms, round robin. So let's say that the process is under execution. It is in running state and one more process with high priority comes into picture. Now the process has to pause or it has to be sent out and the new process with a higher priority has to start running, right? So that is called as interruption. So interruption is nothing but a signal, right? So it's a signal where it will make sure that the process with a higher priority will get the resources at that point of time. So let's see that now the process has been interrupted and that process has to come back to the ready state because a new process has arrived and the resources have been allocated to the new process and that process is currently in a running state. Okay, so process is interrupted and it will come back to the ready state. So one more time the interrupted process will be allocated with the CPU and it will be going back to the running state once it has been scheduled. Okay, so this is one way. The one more way that running will be get interrupted is through IO event. So any process when it is being executed, there is a request for input output event. So when there is a request for input output event, the CPU cannot wait until the request is being granted. Okay, so until the request is granted, IO request, the process will be kept in a waiting state. So it is one more state called as waiting state where until the IO request has been granted, so the process have to wait in waiting state. So once the request is granted or the event is completed, the process will go back to the ready state. Now here you can observe that from waiting state, process cannot go back to running state. So the reason is, so once process comes into the waiting state, there is one more process that has been allocated to that particular CPU. Now CPU is busy with other process. So one process that has been interrupted by IO event, so it has to wait in a waiting state. So once the waiting state is over or the event is completed, so it has to go back to the ready state. Okay, so these are the 4 states, that is new, ready, running and waiting state. Now let's say that the process has completed its task without any interruption or without any IO event. It will normally exit and it will be terminated. Okay, so the process will be terminated normally when there is no interruption or IO event occurs. Okay, so once the process terminates normally, so the process control block or the table that is created to that particular process will be deleted. So it will be done at OS, by OS. Okay, so these are the different states that a process has to go through starting from new till the termination. So this is also called as process cycle or process states. Okay, thank you.
process.